The Z-Man Fishing GOBIUS. Everything you should know. All the do's.
Good one. Big one.
Biggest fish of the trip on the GOBIUS.
All the don'ts.
No! No!
So you don't miss out like this.
Lost him too. Came up and spit it again.
And have headaches like this.
That was a big fish. Why do they keep spitting the hooks?
GOBIUS has just been tearing them up. Big ones, little ones, they all like them. They love the GOBIUS. What's going on, y'all? Bassin' Out Mama here, coming at you with a video. And in this week's video, we finally have the GOBIUS tip fishing video. Some of y'all have been really waiting a long time for this video. Sorry that it took so long, but these videos really take a lot of time to work on and edit, and with doing a regular 9-to-5 job, that isn't exactly the easiest to find time to edit and work on them, along with trying to find time for the family. But we got it here for you now, and there's some big things that I'm going to be telling you all throughout this video with this bait that I found with working with it and fishing it that could help save you some big headaches on the water and some lost big fish like it did with me up on the St. Lawrence.
Oh!
First off, let's talk about the Z-Man GOBIUS. So what this is a finesse swim bait that was designed to be fished on a bait casting setup. Have a heavy enough weight that you could fish on a bait casting setup and cast it well with a bait casting setup, but still be small enough profile that some of these tougher fisheries, they hit it, and also on these goby fisheries, of course, it mimics a goby. But it was designed to be fished on a bait caster. As you saw, I fished it a lot on the St. Lawrence on a spinning rod. I just like the feel that I got out of it on my spinning rod, but as you saw, it also cost me a lot of fish. And what I figured out with fishing it on a spinning rod is to help yourself not lose as many fish, is fish it on a heavier spinning rod, like a medium heavy series spinning rod that has a lot more backbone but a fast tip, and then use a braid to fluorocarbon leader and crank down that drag a little bit. And once I did that, I stopped losing a lot of fish. Is that camera good?
It's behind you.
Hee-haw butt came off too. Oh my. I don't want to say I completely stopped losing fish, because this bait also has some flaws itself, but I definitely had a much higher hookup ratio by doing that if I wanted to fish it on a spinning rod. Now, I would recommend throwing it on a bait caster. Bait caster gives you all the horsing power in the world and all the leverage to really drive that hook. And with this Elastec type plastic that these are, sometimes this little fin here gets in the way of that hook. And if that fin gets hooked up, it prevents the hook from penetrating that fish real good. With a bait caster, you can sometimes combat that and still drive the hook in there. With a spinning rod, sometimes that's harder because your drag slips unless you have it cranked down real hard like I did. Now, you can go ahead and cut those fins off and say, well, there goes that problem. But the nice thing about these fins is by keeping them on, it makes this bait very weedless and very, very snagless. I was able to drag it around all kinds of rocks and all kinds of weeds all throughout the week fishing on the St. Lawrence. So it's a very, very weedless bait and snagless bait as it is. But like I said, those fins sometimes can get caught up in that hook when you're setting it if the fish doesn't grab it right, and then you can also lose the fish if they don't get it all the way. So by snipping that fin off, you can get a little bit better hookup ratio. But like I said, judge that around what you're fishing. You can also make it a lot more snaggable and less weedless by snipping that fin off. That fin really does a good job at getting it through the weeds a little better and helping it come through the rocks and not get hung up. Especially with it being designed like this, it comes through the water like this. But this bait also is amazing at the fact that for being as heavy as it is, I was really fishing the 1/2 ounce version a lot. Did fish the 3/4 ounce a little bit here and there, but I felt the 1/2 ounce was better and I was getting a lot more reactions on the fall. The 1/2 ounce, for this being a 1/2 ounce bait, this really glides and floats down in the water really slowly and nicely. And the smallmouth are really reacting to that a lot.
Daddy. Daddy. Ooh, what's it doing? That was on that GOBIUS. Look at this story. Giant. Off of that GOBIUS. He just munched it.
6 pounds.
There we go, guys. There's a nice one off the Zman GOBIUS. That is my main tips on fishing the Zman Fishing GOBIUS. If you want to fish it on a spinning rod, I recommend fishing it on a heavier, medium heavy spinning rod with a braid to fluorocarbon leader and crank that drag down. Also doesn't hurt to do a little Mark Zona hook setting on smallmouth like he does. I don't know if you've ever watched him or not, but he will set the hook on smallmouth 3 times in a row a lot of times, and man's got it down. He doesn't lose very many fish by doing that. So that is another thing that you can do with this bait that will really help increase your hookup ratio. But like I said, this bait was designed to be fished on a bait caster, so I would recommend throwing it on a medium heavy bait caster, 7.3 medium heavy with a fast tip. You can throw it on a 7:1 gear ratio reel, be totally fine. Real key with getting the bites up there, and I have fished this bait a little bit at the local lakes as well and caught a couple fish on them. So it is not only goby fisheries that these little bad boys can work at. Like I said, I've caught a couple fish at the lakes around here on them and at 1 or 2 of the other fisheries that I fish. So it's not just for fishing places that have gobies. As you see, some of these are like sexy shad colored and like the deal colored or hot snakes, and didn't necessarily have to look like a goby, and they'll still eat it. As long as it looks like a little minnow, they'll still eat it. But like I said, this is a killer little bait. That's a few things that I've learned with this bait that really helped increase my catchability with this bait and also increase landing more fish. So hopefully you guys can take these tips and it will help you have less headaches while you're on the water. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next one. And also, get entered into my giveaway. We're going to be doing a giveaway as soon as we hit 2,500 subscribers. So get entered into that by being subscribed to the channel, by commenting. You can also share it on one of your social media pages for another entry as well. And you also got to like this video. But we'll see y'all next Thursday, guys. Tight lines.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it.